Hey folks, Jonathan here. Figured I'd do some melt some aluminum, make some ingots here. I am going to pour the other half of the case for another engine I'm going to build, and I'm in no hurry. I just want to go ahead and get some ingots made so I can cast it when I get ready for it. Right here is what I've got left of the 22 pounds I started with. Them pieces right there, and that was cast in 3 halves and the little cam cover. So anyway, I'm gonna bust some of this up and take some, like the smog pump, I'll take it apart, get some of the metal and stuff out of it, knock a few things off of it. But anyway, there's our next engine right there. So I'll show you more on that. Okay, here's what we got busted up. These are actually, that's the bottoms for the airbags on a big truck, but it'll fit in there. We'll pack a bunch of stuff in around it here. Just pieces. There's an old Chevrolet fuel pump. Sturdy, but anyway, I'm gonna get all this packed in there. I think this will make a good motorcycle engine, right? Almost looks like one already. Just piled it up right. All right, I'll show you more. Okay, we didn't put it all in there, but we've got it packed full, and then we'll just add to it as we go, and till I get in as much as I want, and then I'll pour an ingot. All right, let me get at it. Okay, folks, as you can see here, we got almost 15 pounds out of that scrap, and good-looking piece of aluminum here. And one good thing about this, what we're going to find out, you know, I like to use pistons because of just the type of metal it is. You know, it's more of an alloy, but this is just a bunch of oddball stuff thrown together. I don't have any pistons in it, and one thing about it, you know, I've actually used a lot of that kind of stuff years back for casting, but a lot of the stuff wasn't machined like I machine these engine blocks, or engine cases. So we're going to find out, you know, the difference between a piston and just this old scrap aluminum quality-wise. Because once we pour the case and we start machining, I'm sure we'll, you know, we'll be able to tell if it's, you know, a lower quality or not. I think it's about 14 pounds is what I ended up with. So, and if you notice, it's thinner in the center here, and I kind of like that. It was actually a bend in my pan. What I do is I sit this between 2 jack stands, and then I take a sledgehammer and break it in half, and that's how I get it in my smelter, because that's about 20 inches long, so it's pretty tall. And so anyway, that's that. We'll next we'll be casting another one of the sides with the cam, which is the side with the initials and stuff on it. Kind of the toughest one to do, and so that won't be today, but it'll be in this video, so whenever it is, you'll get to see it. All right. Okay, folks, I got my smelter rolling here. Barely see down in there, but getting ready to pour another half for the engine case out of the scrap material, and I'll show you as I pour it. Well, I just don't know. It didn't suck in nearly as far, and that's kind of scary. Okay, folks, we had a pretty big issue with there's a void in there, and what happened was, you know, I was talking about it didn't shrink here. It actually pulled it away from there, and we're going to have to figure something else out. Either pour it a little hotter or build something bigger down here. What I'm afraid of is if I build something bigger here, that all it's going to do is use part of this to cool that piece. Okay, folks, we're getting ready to pour, or try to pour again, and we'll get this camera set up. I went ahead and done the mold and busted the old one up.
Okay, I think that bore, I think it's going to work. Our issue moved. It moved to here. And I think all this gets cut out. And this right here actually gets to be just about as thin as that. So we might have dodged a bullet on this one. But I've still got to figure out what the problem is and why they're doing what they're doing. But we'll cut this off, clean it up a little bit where I can get it device, and then we'll see if we can get some machining done on it. But that'll be later. Alright, show you more. Okay folks, here's what we got. I machined the surface, the inside. I really think that that's all going to be gone when I'm finished. I think we'll be just fine on it. If not, like I said, we can smash it up and melt it again like I did the last one. But anyway, that surface is done. Got that surface finished up, and of course the surface is on the other one. Now this is the first one that I had poured, and it had, if you remember, it had some issues with some little bit of pitting. But you know, this case is so thick, I'm gonna take it down until it's gone. That'll be no problem, and so we'll use it. Keep me from having to recast it, because it don't have anything to do with the work or anything like that, because I don't mind doing the work. It's the time. I don't have time to do it. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do, and then everything else is coming together really quick, and I think it's going to be just fine. And let me see, it's so much quicker when you've already got everything. Foundry Patterns is made. The you know, I've already machined it once. I've got my smelter done, so now all we got to do is clamp this together, and then we'll drill our holes. We've already got drill bits for that. Remember, I had to buy them parabolic drill bits, and so we'll get that drilled, and then we'll get one hole bored all the way through, and then we'll bore the we bore this top side first, so that'll be good. You know, all we got to do is run one center hole, and I'm going to do a little better job on this next one, because that last one, my bit was kind of, well, the bit was bent, or it wasn't clamping right in the drill or something. It was wobbling some, and that sent me off on the other side where the bearing race was. It just didn't look, you know, how I wanted it. But this engine is going to be a lot simpler. What we're going to do on this one, we're going to call this the pocket valve engine build, because it's going to be that pocket valve cylinder, this one right here. So you know, we're only having to run one cam, and I've already got the crank. I just need to get the bearings, and you know, it's going to be a little while before I get back on this at all. And I really don't have much time in it. I mean, I've cast in that cover and a little bit of machine work. So, but anyway, like I said, this will be the pocket valve. Now, one of the reasons I haven't started on the bike yet, I've got something coming from the UK, and thanks to the world famous Mike of Lincoln, and some of you may know who I'm talking about, some of you may not. But the legend race car driver, that's what he is. But anyway, with his help, I was able to get something I've been looking for a long time, and it should be here within the next week or so, I'm sure. So I'm going to show you what it is, and it's going to go with this engine over here, and we'll get to building a bike on it, you know, before too long. And rollback's coming right along, and like I said, when the rollback's going, so everybody knows, everybody don't seem to watch this part, but this is the part where I say when the rollback's done, the four-wheel drive wrecker gets brought back up here. So, but it will be here. And, you know, I'm going to keep doing this kind of stuff, because this is, you know, I really enjoy doing this. And, you know, I enjoy fabricating, period, but something about this, because you're not only, you know, you're not just fabricating, you know, you're having to do a little bit of thinking, and, you know, figure out what's next and what goes in, and, you know, I think it'd be a lot more work, but it'd be a lot easier if I designed and built everything and wasn't building around parts that was pre-existing. just like the cylinder and them crankshafts and stuff. If you're designing it and you're building all the parts, it leaves you open to doing anything. I can build this case however I want it, not how I want it plus to fit the other crankshaft. So, to me this is a little tougher, and that's what I enjoy. And anyway, like I said, this will be a simpler engine. This is going to be a battery ignition. Just all we're going to have to do is mount a set of points. We'll probably just put them at the end of the crankshaft on the other side, on the outside cover where it says USA. We'll make it fire every rotation, and it'll just be a wasted spark. So it'll fire every rotation of the crankshaft, and which a normal engine fires every other rotation, but the firing is not that important. Or we could come out off the cam and put a lobe or something like that. Well, it's all up in the air what we can do. But simpler, quicker, and don't know what we're going to do with this one, but we might end up finding somebody that wants it. Who knows? But yeah, this will be a neat little engine. I've got the piston for it, rings, like I said, crank rod, everything. Just need to get some bearings on the way, and points, because of the way that we're going to do it. We can use any kind of points that I can find around here that I got. If I've got something new old stock, we'll just use them. We probably won't use a GM point because of the unless it's a really old set, but anything, it don't matter what we use. And carburetor wise, like I said, we've got the one that Richard sent from Kentucky, and then we've got the other one. We just have to build an intake manifold. And but yeah, it won't be any problem. We'll make it blow some smoke anyway. All right, well, appreciate everybody watching, and I hope it ain't bad news for some of you. I know everybody didn't like the motorcycle or the engine build, so we're doing other things too. So all right, appreciate everybody watching. Bye.